Hi everyone, this is Killshot99 Gaming. This is Fear the Walking Dead, Season 5, Episode 3. This is going to be our extended review live. We got a chance to do reactions last night. We're going to break it down a little bit further. Some good stuff to cover tonight. Before we get started, I want to give a super special shout out to all the patrons. You can see them up on the screen. Thank you for everything that you guys do. And let's get right into tonight's topics, because we got several things that we got to jump into. I see some people making it in on time. Some people are a little bit late after the stream started. It's okay. It's okay. We got the doors open for everybody here. We'll still let you come in. So we've got, I'm going to go through basically, I'll start with the beginning of it. And there were some good storylines. There were not a whole lot of additional stories added to it, which to me was pretty solid. We did get into some silly stuff last night, which was kind of cool. We talked about how it went back to Fear the Walking Dead, a little bit of that humor. As long as they do the humor the right way, I'm cool with it. I accept it. There were mixed reviews last night. Some people said, 6, 7. I think by the time we got to the end of the stream, question for the group. If you, by the time we got to the end of the reaction video last night, how many people slightly raised your score? That you come into the stream and you think, okay, I caught that. That was a little bit of entertainment. But then when we break it down, you see a little bit more enjoyment out of it. Just kind of curious. I mean, I've heard that several times, that the talk shows we do afterwards, the reactions do add a little bit of value to it. Viola's staying tough with that 6. Like, it's a 6. Ain't changing it. It's always going to be a 6. Viola might have been a 5.5 last night. Maybe raised it to a 6. So, Julia Mew said, if I could, I would have upped it to 11. I like that. 10 plus plus. Okay, well, I'm seeing some. Ellis Jr. was a little low last night. Ended up being a 7. Fair enough, fair enough. So, I won't get too far into it, but I was doing a little bit of thinking last night. And the one thing I do love is I love all the coincidence. And at first glance, I had to go back and think, like, wait a minute. It's weird that John and June are being shot at, and then later on, and then it like dawned on me, like, duh, it was Dwight shooting at him and then following the car. Then it kind of made sense. There were a couple things that sort of worked itself out. But look, I understand Dwight's been out there for a year, and he's been looking for Sherry for a year, and he was just at the end of his rope, and he had to make the decision where it was either end it and stop looking, and June added a little bit of value. But here's something that I got to ask the group. Is there a shortage of ink in the zombie? I know there's a shortage of bullets. There might be a shortage of food. But my question is, you would think a pen. You'd be able to find a pen, right? And if you could find a pen or a pencil, you would be able to write a real letter. So the only thing that maybe I would like to see a little bit more of is, enough with the infinity symbol and enough with the cryptic 30 West. How about this? Dearest beloved Dwight, this is Sherry. You may still be looking for me, but I've decided to stay here for a 2-week time period. I know you've been jumping from place to place, and I've left these cryptic messages, and I haven't really said anything in these, but I would like to write you an extended letter. And maybe she could go on for 2 or 3 pages. What else she got to do except write a letter? Just write him a whole notebook full of stuff. I mean, this ain't Connie. This is Sherry. She can write the whole thing. I'm going to stay here for 2.5 weeks, just in case you decide to show up this time. But I get the feeling like she pops in, she leaves a note, and then I understand maybe once in a while she gets scared away from her current area. Maybe she runs out of food. Maybe she has to pack up and leave, but not every time. Exactly. Jason's like, that makes too much sense. And I think one of the things I like to do is every once in a while I like to point out the things that wait, Kel, what? Hang on. Stop. Kel, really? Think about it. Sherry probably thinks Dwight is dead right now and not look. Then why would she write the letters at all? That's not even possible. If she thinks Dwight's dead, she's not going to go through the trouble. She could write like a whole diary. Sorry, Kel, I'm vetoing that one. Usually I'm in agreement with some of your disagreements, but not that one. You're getting a thumbs down for that one. It's a plot hole, but it's one of those things that we like to do, right? When Fear the Walking Dead does its plot holes well, we gloss over it. A couple weeks ago, we talked about, look, as long as Dwight gets there, even if it's a silly story, we'll soon just push it to the side and forget about it. And lo and behold, that's kind of what's going on right now. And in 2 episodes, you're going to forget that Sherry left a note on a car registration of the exact same vehicle that John was in, but as John told Dwight, it wasn't the same vehicle. I'm still trying to figure it. Look, it ain't going to be a rant, but John was a cop. That whole episode, I think, was so confusing. It was meant to confuse us even more, so we wouldn't think about it anymore. Because Dwight, and here's the other thing. Luckily, Sherry wasn't tied up in the back seat of that car that Dwight shot the windows out of, because that could have been a problem too. Now, when he shot the wheels, I get it. But look, June and John pulled over. They ran. The walkers were there, and they start getting shot at from behind. So Dwight at least had to think that possibly Sherry could have been taken hostage, but he shot in the car anyway. Because later on, we saw Dwight put the gun to John. He's, where is she? Where is she? What did you do with her? But then he got knocked out. But honestly, if Dwight does some major killing, and if John and Dwight form a pretty cool attack squad, you think we're going to care that it's a little bit convenient how Dwight got to Texas? So, correct me if I'm wrong with this. Did I hear this correctly last night? That Dwight went to Atlanta before he went to Texas? I thought I heard him reference Atlanta. Okay. All right. And Morgan went the same way. Now, that's fine. That's fine, Erica. If it wasn't super coincidental before that they ended up in Texas, The fact that both Morgan and Dwight went to Georgia before they went to Texas. So I'm going to go to California, but before I go to California, I'm going to go to Boston. I'm not sure. I'm not sure the quickest way to get to Texas is through Atlanta. It's like really. Okay. Then here's my question. Jennifer's like, Kel is right. Okay. All right. Kel is being super genius mode tonight. So Kel, since you have the answer for everything, here's the question. So theoretically, we have 3 random people who all left Virginia. Morgan went from Virginia to Georgia to pretty much Humbug's Gulch. Sherry went from Virginia to Georgia to Texas. And then Dwight went from Virginia to Georgia. Yep, you guessed it. Texas. All right, I got to have an answer for this one, Kel. And if she can nail this one, we will give her the first Kills coin of the week. Texas, I just the whole, look, I'm trying not to be stuck on it, but the fact that John, Morgan, Sherry, Dwight, hell, I ain't even got to Daniel yet. There is some cosmic force pulling everyone to that town. I mean, we could ask, what brought Daniel there too? No, I get that, Deborah. Daniel did not start out in Virginia. I got a feeling Kevin Bacon's got to be around there somewhere. This is like some relation to Kevin Bacon. All right. The only reason I bring all this up is because we don't really think about it and we don't really talk about it. And if you do highlight all the conveniences, it does seem a little extreme. But like I said, I'll ask the question one more time. How many people are even going to care about this in 2 to 3 weeks? Even Skidmark made it there, says Wilson. Yes. I am certainly looking forward to the Skidmark storyline this coming up week. I think Skidmark has a bigger role, and I would vote Skidmark for an Emmy. So it's a good point, right? Coma Drug says no one will care. Maria's like, I don't care about it now. So we can be pretty easily sucked into the story. So here's my follow-up question. If we don't worry about what brings all these people to one little small city in Humbug's Gulch, then I think we could probably be a little bit more patient with the long-term storylines. All right, I'm going to go through a couple more of the this is the reason why I bring this up, because last night a lot of people were lowballing the score a little bit more because they thought, hey, there's just too many mysteries that are out there, and I need them faster. I need some of the mysteries answered. So we did get the Sherry mystery answered. One of the questions we had at the beginning of the season was, did Sherry die, and what brought Dwight there? And there were a lot of theories out there. Some people said, hey, maybe the helicopter people brought Dwight there, or maybe he's involved with the helicopter people. But so we found out that in a weird sort of convenient way, he traveled all the way down there following the love notes, the breadcrumbs, and he's there. And now she's theoretically still there. Unless, of course, she really was on that campground and got burned. That's what a lot of us thought to begin with. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to, give us like a double whammy and start with a story and then, it's like a reverse negative. So we got the Dwight thing. However, they are kind of doing the back and forth thing with the kids, right? At first. So let me get your thoughts on Dillon, Max, and Annie. So at first glance, we thought they were creepy, right? How many people thought they're out there, they're by the wrecked plane? Bad vibes. Okay. But then we're sort of led to believe like, yeah, maybe there's a chance for them. They've been through some rough stuff. There could be some good in them. So the writers sort of start us out with the bad, and then they give us like just a small glimpse that maybe they could be salvageable. And then you can't save us. We're going to take off. So we went through that deal. And then we get the radio, and they kind of trick Alicia. So now we're kind of back to where we came from. So, I mean, certainly they are giving us the back and forth with the kids. And even when we asked last night, many of you said, well, there's a possibility that they could just be under some kind of shady influence. Jennifer thinks they're just scared kids, probably paranoid for a good reason. Well, Jennifer, here's the problem that I have with that. All right, scared kids can run away. Scared kids don't have to hide in the back of a van and pretend that they were attacked in order to get a leg up on you. They can be scared and they can go away. So they're beyond scared kids. They're tricky little evil children. maniacal, diabolic, devious. Yeah, all of those. Yeah, I mean, Natalie, it's possible. I mean, I don't think, based on what they said last night, I don't feel like they're working for somebody else or they're involved with the helicopter people. Because, when was it Annie and Max that were talking last night, they said, no, we're basically going to teach them a lesson so they go away and leave us alone. So in their dialogue, it wasn't like, well, we have to do this or anything along those lines. This seemed like, from the way they were talking, this is their plan. We don't want to be bothered. We don't want you around. But instead of just going our own separate ways, I mean, they could turn off the radio. And Ellis, I've kind of felt that way too. That maybe there was some other involvement until I saw them doing their own little sneaky thing last night and talking about it. Okay, just want to get a couple thoughts last night. What did you guys think about the San Antonio split? Honest opinions. Great, wonderful television. It's that 1 in a million shot to kind of save people. Improbable, loved it, far-fetched. Well, it was meant to be unbelievable because silly, not believable, says Ellis. I loved it. And I'll tell you why I loved it. Because you have to get in the moment and know that John was a trick shooter. Now, everybody in this room, you guys all know the distance that those walkers were away and the amount of time that John said to Dwight, Dwight, hold up the axe. Dwight, hold up the axe. Dwight, hold it. Oh, okay, let me get my shot here. John could have ran down there, shot a window, and distracted the walker. Look, there were only 2 of them. He could have ran full speed and did a Hong Kong Phooey karate kick on one and then shot the other one. So we got put in that moment where we had to buy into the San Antonio split. It was all about the San Antonio split. Or Princess Pie said, or they could have just blown the horn. Good point. I like that. He was trying to get some points with June. You know what? All right. You know what? I'm going to kill his coin out. Marcia Derbyshire said John's pants were too tight for a karate kick. I agree with that. That's a good comment. What do you guys think? Should that be the first? Should that be the first kills coin of the week right there? But you know what, Marcia? If he would have did that, and his pants were tight, then it would have been a real San Antonio split. You know what? I should get a kills coin because he would split his pants. Because I think we should split a kills coin. It was like Marcia set it up, and then I kind of finished it. So let's talk. Let's talk about some of the storylines that were developed a little bit further. Some I think we got a little bit of closure to. Brian Clayton kills. It was a fake town for entertainment and shows. Why did he use real ammo? So he did have real ammo and he had some blanks. And I thought they did a good job with that when they, when June picked the lock. The blanks are for the fake cowboy scenes, and then there are real trick shots going on there that they can pull off. So, Brian, I think that's the answer to the question, is depending on which show they were doing would be which bullets they would use. I loved it. We brought that up last night, Chris. The board left in the road that Morgan didn't run over. And, that was just a mistake. I mean, it would not have... I mean, if you think complete realism... If any of us would have ran over a board with nails in it, we would have gotten out, cussed the board, and then thrown the board 50 feet away. Probably cut our hand throwing the board. But not Alicia and Lucy. They call Morgan, and Morgan goes speeding down. In fact, I don't remember the exact dialogue, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Alicia even mentioned the board in the road, did she? I don't even think she said that on the radio. By the way, Morgan, watch out because there's a board with nails in it. You don't want to run over that. I don't think that was even mentioned either. you know what? Yeah, when it was 2 or 3 convenient things, I gave it a 9.5. I better be careful. I'm gonna talk myself into a 7. I'm gonna give it a 7 before we do the extended review tonight. Regardless, all the weird stuff, I still enjoyed it. So it must have been just some complete brainless entertainment for me, because I didn't. I think I got out of it what I needed to get out of it. And I saw all these things happening, but I just didn't really have a desire to pick it apart. So I'm going to ask the Army another question. Is it possible, maybe even likely, is it possible maybe I scored it a little higher because episode 2 wasn't really that good? I mean, and maybe some of you did as well. I'm just asking. If that's not the case, you guys can certainly say, no, it was great. But the more we review it, maybe I'm going to lower it from a 9.5 down to, I think I'm about an 8.6 now. No, and Steph, there is always that fine line that you walk, right? I mean, I'm sorry, Emmy. To Emmy's point, it's a zombie apocalypse. It's not reality. And we've said this before, right? You can't overly pick apart a show about zombies. But you can't make it Evil Dead 2 either. And I think The Walking Dead has always done a good job with that, is they make you feel like everything can really happen. There's a lot less coincidence and a lot less of these unbelievable acts that happen. But in Fear the Walking Dead, that's why I've always liked it, is they don't take themselves too seriously. They don't need to kill a character every week. And they do they mask it. They mask it with dust storms and stories about radioactive walkers and cool stuff. I mean, we get to see cool stuff on Fear that we don't really get to see on The Walking Dead. And I think where they fall short from time to time is when they cheese it up just a little too much. Okay, so we're going to do something a little bit different tonight as part of our recap. And keep in mind, if I don't get a chance to call on everybody, there's some great comments. I know I can't kind of change topics to get to everyone's comments, but I encourage you, if you're watching the playback, read along because there's some really good stuff. I thought the tumbleweed was great. So let's try this. Of last night's episode, what is one of the most unbelievable things that you're okay with that you actually liked? Maybe the San Antonio split. But I want to know if there's other things. All right, so the San Antonio split. Not only is it impossible to do, in most circumstances, this is the way it would have went down. Because remember, you got to split the bullet into two. And you got to hit the sharp edge of the axe. So it would have been like this. Dwight, pick up the axe. Dwight, hurry up. Dwight, pick up the axe. All right, Dwight, it's leaning a little to the right. I'm gonna need you to hold it up straight. Dwight, you're working at about a 47-degree angle. I'm gonna need you to go to to more of an acute triangle type of thing. A little bit, about 7 degrees. Okay, almost. Hold it there. Hold it steady. Don't be distracted by the walker on top of you or two about to eat you. All right, we need about 1 degree more to the right so I can get this perfect split. That's the way a San Antonio split would have went down. Exactly like that. Because what if it would have been a San Antonio ricochet hit Dwight in the face? That could have been a possibility. So let's say Dwight at the wrong moment, he just rocked back on the axe a little bit, and instead of it splitting, he hit the bottom of the axe, and it ricocheted, went straight down, and hit Dwight in the head. So then we would have no more Dwight. It'd be like, exactly, oops, how did that happen? Or if the axe blade, if Dwight would have, turned his wrist a little bit, and it would have hit square, then it would have banked back toward John. Now, it wouldn't have came all the way back, but it would have been like one of those Roadrunner scenes. You know where Coyote's chasing Roadrunner, and the bullet goes after him, and the bullet just has like so much distance, and the Roadrunner stops, and then the bullet falls on the ground. That could have happened too. All of these they're all possibilities. So, exactly, Gina cried. It would have been a Dwighty boy split. I like that. There's a lot of ways this could have split. But it didn't. It happened perfectly. So that's important to me. It's important that I ask that question. What was the most unbelievable thing that happened last night that you're willing to look at for sheer entertainment? All right. But I have a follow-up question. What was the most unbelievable part of last night that you're not willing to look the other way? That was not just about entertainment and might have been a little bit overboard. See, I want to catch that balance. And for some of you, maybe nothing. Look, I loved all of it, and I like the fact that they just do their own thing. But was there something last night, and maybe for some of you, it was the San Antonio split as well. It's like, you know what? I just can't accept that. Grimes says the kids. The kids. Yeah, maybe the kids. See, Julie, I like the kids outsmarting. And many of you said this last night. So I think it's a combination of the kids and Alicia. Because, I'm sorry, Alicia is not 2 words. Alicia. If you ever want to know how to say Alicia from Georgia, it's Alicia. My southern dialect it just came out. All right, but anyway, Alicia. Many of you last night said, "I'm over Alicia." So, were you over Alicia? I can't say it. I can't say her name anymore. I'm done. Were you over Alicia because the kids outsmarted her? It's like, how many years have we been watching her, and she still gets tricked? Is it all this emotion she's going through with Nick, and all the emotion she's going through with her mom? She can't get over the Madison thing. I mean, what is it with Alicia that's not going to allow her to take that next step forward? Great comments. Jack Carr said, Alicia's always been frustrating. Some people are saying she's boring. All right, these are great comments, and I'll tell you why. I don't call out the writers too often. But when I do, it's a combination of something that I see and something that I see many of you kind of type. Ecom saying she's trying too hard. Princess Pie, Alicia's got her mother's genes. Deborah, Alicia needs to grow up. So, how many people here feel Judith Grimes is much more resilient and a stronger leader and a better decision maker than Alicia? All right. So this is important. I don't call out writing opportunities or silly things very often. This is why I thought the San Antonio split was great. What they're doing to Alicia's character is absolutely horrendous. It's frustrating for the audience. It's frustrating for me as a host. It was frustrating last week when Morgan and Alicia had the conversation. And I said after that conversation, if we push forward, and I'm on the verge of being exactly where you are. I'm not there quite yet, and I'll tell you why. If Alicia's purpose is to be naive and is to try to help people, and she stays true to that character from now until forever, I won't love her character, but I will accept the consistency of the writing. If Alicia gets tricked by these kids, and she's not one step ahead of them, and this is her learning experience, and last week talking to Morgan wasn't, then I think they're dragging it on a little bit more. And I would say I really like the way they've written Judith Grimes. I don't like the fact that they're... Can I say this? And maybe this is what many of you said. I don't want them to make Alicia into Madison Clark. And I'm starting to see some similarities between Alicia and Madison. Madison, I gotta go find Nick. I gotta go take care of my kids. I gotta go, I understand. But they just put it on way too thick. And it seems like Alicia's going down that path. Well, Brian's saying surely they won't do that, but I'm sensing some of it already. And I agree, we don't need that. Jim says they're dumbing her down. And I'm not trying to manufacture a crisis here. I'm going off a good portion of your comments and we're, I hate to say it, we're funneling a character. We're not funneling a theory tonight. We're taking a lot of those behaviors and a lot of those traits, and we're calling them the way we see them. So the writers have a big opportunity with Alicia, and I feel like they're missing out on it. Much like we might be missing out on John Dory if the relationship takes precedence over the teamwork. And let me tell you what I mean by that. Many of you know I do have a vested interest in June dying. And last episode, I saw some things that really made me say, I could see that going in either direction. I still think June's going to die because I saw some really good chemistry between Dwight and John, and I really liked that. And I saw, a little bit of the dragging out the relationship and finalizing the story. With that being said, once we got past, the story and the love boat and all of that stuff, I didn't necessarily mind the Bonnie and Clyde of John and June. So I could certainly see them living, and I could certainly see them building on that story of kind of the John, June, and Dwight, the Three Musketeers type of thing, and less of the odd man out relationship. If they would gravitate away from the silly googly eyes, all that stuff, and just make them what they were at the end when it's like, hey, John, I got to, my gun, it jammed. I don't want to always see like her gun jamming, but them as a duo, I could see that. I could see them going in that direction. I still think she's going to get bit and die, and I'm still hopeful that's going to happen. But there's a slight side of me that could see myself losing. Not much, but just a slight side. Because I think watching it from and trying to think what the writers were thinking, I do feel like they're still building up the relationship, and they're building up the relationship to kill one of them. But I did like seeing them fight side by side. I just don't know if that's what they meant. I think they wanted to fight side by side so we get like another memory, another moment or something more to think about with them. Ellis, I would be shocked if they killed Alicia. I honestly don't think it's intentional that they're making her naive. I think it's just a mistake. And I hope it's a mistake they fix pretty quickly. Julia Muse says sing a song, J and J, for Chris Reinig. I don't think I could freestyle that. But hey, if you guys tune in for Random Things tomorrow, we could do anything. I'd probably, instead of like J and J, I'd do like maybe a Jack and Diane. Little did it about John and June. June got bit by a walker. She died much too soon. There you go. How about that? How about Jack and Diane, June and John version? Okay, a little bit extra for you guys. So, yeah, we're 45 minutes into this, and on that note, might not have been a good note. It was a note. We are going to wind down the stream. We will be here tomorrow night at 9:30 for Random Things. We got some cool topics we're going to talk about. A couple new segments that we like to add to it. So you guys will want to be here. Also posted some stuff on Patreon, so we get some of the patrons' thoughts in there as well. Wednesday night, we're going to talk about the Walking Dead universe. We're going to get back into some rumors, some theories, some filming, The Walking Dead. On Thursday night, we're going to be back here with our bold predictions for Fear the Walking Dead. Friday night, we got nothing. Nothing going on. Okay, I'll be at an Air Supply concert. I'm not even lying. I scored free tickets to Air Supply. If you guys have some favorite Air Supply songs, then we'll bring it up in Random Things tomorrow. But yeah, there's no Freestyle Friday on Friday. But we will be doing Freestyle Friday on Saturday night. So don't fear. We will still have our Freestyle Friday, but it'll be on Saturday night. And then Sunday, we'll have a whole lot of other stuff going on. So we may have coffee. I think we might have coffee with Kills on Saturday. So stay tuned the rest of the week. And I'm just getting a couple more comments in here. What's up, DDA? And those of you that joined late, do me a favor. Go back, check the playback. It's not a super long stream tonight, so you got plenty of time to check it out. Leave your thoughts and comments. Let me know what you agree with. Let me know what you disagree with. I will see everybody tomorrow night at 9:30 for Random Things. Should be a lot of fun. Last week was a lot of fun. Our Random Things have been long streams, and our Freestyle Fridays have been super long streams. I think we did 2 hours last week. So I'll talk to you all tomorrow night at 9:30. Thanks once again. See you then. Peace.